Welcome to a new series that I'm calling the Final Siren. We started it midweek. Let's talk about it. So I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. I've got it somewhat tattooed on me. And when I went to training earlier this week and they ended up training 2 hours before, I thought it would be a good idea to just react to the presser. It's something that I haven't done before, and you guys seem to really, really like it. And I really enjoyed doing it. So what I'm doing in this series called the Final Siren is I'll be reacting to Fly's presser after every game, and not just Fly's presser. It'll be whenever there's an interview with a player. So at the moment, it'll be Fly's presser, the interview with Darcy Cameron from 7AFL, and the interview with Darcy Moore from ABC Sports. So I hope this all works out. It's a bit of a trial and error format. So yeah, like I said, something that I haven't done before, but I'm really, really excited. We're going to start with Fly's presser. Buckle in because it's a really good presser. It's a really good presser. Let's go.
I know you're a very positive guy. That was probably your worst performance for the year in all respects. At this time of year, how concerning is the trajectory that your team's going on?
I apologise to our Magpie Army and our that's a disappointing performance. You can't sugarcoat that.
So straight off the bat, an apology for just dishing up what we dished up, which was just not it. What we dished up was just not it. It wasn't the Collingwood that we know and that we love. And I love. There's no sugarcoating it. He said that last week as well against Brisbane. He said there's no sugarcoating it. So I love sugar, and we'll see where this goes.
We owe Steel Sidebottom way more than that too. Like he said, legend of the footy club. We're hurting. That one really hurt. Just a lack of system, and then a lack of fight.
So first off, saying we owe Steel a lot more, like 100%. Like to dish up what we dished up in his 350th game. Only two Magpies have played 350 games. Him and Scott Pendlebury. And to dish up and there's no fight. And Craig McRae, he says it right there. The system and the fight, and you'll hear system a lot throughout this video.
Lack of effort. Sometimes at the same time, which leaves us really vulnerable. And anyone that's watched us over the last few years would say, they're basically, they're glued together by a system, and then you have great effort, and then we're okay, but not tonight.
And that's the thing, right? Like he said, we're usually glued. We're usually a lot better, or not usually, but we're more often than not a lot better than what we dished up against the Hawks. But the glue is getting thin, and it's becoming a lot unstuck. And it reminds me a little bit of the Icarus parable, right? Where he had the wings on to get out of wherever he was. I can't remember where him and his dad were. He had the wings stuck on with wax, and his dad's like, "Don't fly too close to the sun. They're going to melt. You'll fall to your death." And at the moment, we've got those wings on with wax, and we're just flying a little bit too close to the sun, and we're starting to drop. We're starting to fall. He brings up the glue thing a little bit later on as well. But I thought that was really, really interesting because there's not one player there at the moment that is the glue to this side, unfortunately, and we saw it really come, pun intended, unstuck last night.
Probably your last 6 quarters, you go back to the Brisbane halftime of the Brisbane game. It's probably since that point it's just gone downhill, hasn't it?
Yeah. No, well, I'll just deal with this guy. Let's just stay here. We just had some really poor efforts at times. The aerial on the goal line is just really.
How many goal line goals did we give up? And that's not even, we don't have Jeremy Howe, so we're going to give up goal line. That is just pathetic and insipid defending, and it's just lack of trying it. And what Fly said is it's lack of fight. We shouldn't be giving up goal line goals like that when we've got players jumping up and trying to, just half-heartedly spoil a ball. Meeks kicking him on the goal line. I can't remember who. I think Gunston did one as well. It was, man, I haven't seen us defend like that for a very, very, very long time.
Poor. Look, this is the reality of what we got right now. like I've always said to our players, nothing's permanent. Nothing's permanent. Only if we want it to be.
I don't mind that mind shift and that mindset that nothing's permanent, only if we want it to be. Fly has been known for the last few years that come Monday, win, lose, or draw, you don't know the results of the game pretty much. You come in with a smile. We might get smashed by 100 points. You come in on Monday, you got a smile, you're ready to go again. We might win by 100 points on the Friday. You come in on Monday, you're smiling, you're ready to go again. There's a lot of acting like winners in losing. And like the Brisbane game, we just didn't act like winners in losing this. And I can only hope that on Monday, we come in with a smile and we don't let this form or this game in particular be permanent going forward for the last 2 games of the season.
But we, we'll be judged on the full term, I'd like to think. But
Yep.
right now, it's got to get our system back in check because it didn't really matter who played and, magnet, move that part and the defence and all the other parts. But we're going to glue that back together.
Again, there's that glue piece, but he brings up a really good point where it doesn't matter who played, it's the system. Now, I know we had to go at Charlie Dean last week, just wasn't up to it. We bring in Frampton and we bring in Howe. Obviously, Howe didn't play any of the game, played a minute or so. But at the moment, you could put Tony Lockett in that forward line and we still wouldn't kick a winning score. We're averaging 69 points over the last 4 or 5 weeks or something that I read, which is just pathetic if you want to try and win a flag. Like, yes, our defense is kind of holding up, except for this game, obviously. But it doesn't matter who you got playing. It's shocking.
Obviously, you don't look at form from previous weeks, but that system that you spoke about tonight, was that something new? Was that something you saw for the first time for a long time tonight?
Well, I think for a long time, I don't recall us having that poor of connection in the way we move the ball and in the way we defend the ground. Credit to Hawthorn, they were always going to challenge us in major parts of the game. It doesn't matter who you play this time of year. You're playing top 8 teams or more that you give.
Look at those last 5 weeks, right? The Gold Coast game we drop, and remember we managed Myercheck and Lipinski in that game, our best ball user and our best forward. The Fremantle game, we had 20 inside 50s in the third quarter and scored 1 goal, 2. The Richmond game, thank God we beat the team that's placed, 16th or whatever they are. Then Brisbane and Hawthorn, 2 finals contenders, 2 top 4 contenders, and we dish up that.
A chance to play to their strengths, you're going to get hurt. And we got hurt really bad.
What impact did losing Howe?
I just don't want to make excuses. It rocked us. It did, but it was right in front of us. It rocked us, and it rocked.
That's one thing I love about Fly. Albeit I don't watch a lot of other coaches' press conferences, but he doesn't make excuses. I would make the excuse that losing Jeremy Howe absolutely cooked us. It rattled us, but I thought it was going to rattle us and spur us on. It's Sidey's 350th. It's Jeremy Howe getting concussed in the first 2 minutes of the game. We do it for them. We do it for them. We go in, we go hard, we do it for them. That's just not what we saw.
Some of our staff, it was, but no more excuses, but we hope he's okay. I hope his family's okay too. Those things aren't great when you're watching live. And
yeah, it was so scary.
Hope you're okay, buddy.
So thankfully, he is all good, being cleared of any sort of, jaw or head injury or anything like that. Just a concussion. Will only miss the Adelaide game. But that's if there's no delayed concussion like we have been seeing or extra precautionary. So fingers crossed he's back for that Melbourne game. But he's out of the hospital, which is a bonus.
What is the initial
I'm not sure. Yeah, my understanding he's going to get scans. Yeah, I don't know yet. I can't comment.
All good.
Yeah.
Very concerning.
Yeah, it is. But there's some, 3 guys flying at the one ball, spawning at the same time is not system. And we've worked on that all pre-season. So there's desperation. And then there's desperation of I got the ball and I'm going to spawn and I'll be the guy. No method in that.
Now you can start seeing him getting upset and angry in his own Fly sort of way. We don't see this Fly very often. I think these 2 weeks have sort of broke him in the sense that he's ready to flip his own switch and absolutely hammer into these guys. We know that Fly is very love and supportive, very Ted Lasso-y, but I think it looks like he's had enough, and you'll see throughout this presser, he looks like a man on a mission, and it's about time. It's about time we see this Fly after the 5 weeks that we've dealt up. One more thing, look at that Jeremy Howe stat. We've had 16 games with Howie, we've won 14. Without Howe, 4 games, we've won 1, and that one was the Richmond game. Now, come on, man, like, you can tell that he's a general down back and how he sets up and all this sort of stuff, and he's the best at it at the club, and this is what we're getting. It's crazy that we're relying on a 35-year-old, but here we are. This is why we're going after Silvani. This is why I think that there'll be someone else that comes into that role that sets up the team. Darcy Moore doesn't do it well. He does it in his own other ways.
And Darcy Cameron, poor Darcy Cameron, sitting under the ball, and everyone's letting the man fly and take mark of the year in his head. That's not system.
That's not us. That's not us.
We can fix.
Yep.
You know, the effort stuff is. I'd like to think that's an anomaly. Like, that hasn't been there for us in that regard for. I can't remember when we had maybe round 0 when we were old and slow. Yeah.
Classic. It just, what that sort of tells me is that no one wanted to fight for each other. We preached the side-by-side mentality, and no one wanted to do that against the Hawks. This is an interesting one. Dacos on the bench.
Everyone starts on the bench in our team, and no one's bigger than an individual. And he's one of our leaders, and it's just subtle. It's nothing major at all. Because everyone takes a turn. Josh started on the bench last week, and I think it was a pretty cool thing. Yep.
So about this, right? This is probably one thing that I disagree with Fly on. Like, okay, everyone starts on the bench, but in a finals-like game, or maybe in a finals game, you're not starting Nick Dacos on the bench. Before the game even started, he was, sort of getting work during the warm-up and stuff. If he's injured, give him a rest. I know it's a big game, but give him a rest. And then in the first quarter, he couldn't even come on for, 15 minutes that the game stopped because of the Howe concussion. So we still didn't see Nick for so long in that first quarter. I think, in game time, it was about 8 minutes before he came on or something like that. I'm not going to say that the game was over and out by that time, but I understand where he's coming from, but also he's the best player in the league. He has to start. I don't care if it's a tagging thing or not. He has to start.
He was getting some treatment to his neck.
Oh, here you go.
Injury there?
No, my short medical meeting says that everyone's okay at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see. Yes, mate.
Craig, the intensity tonight by the Hawks, they really brought the heat early.
They did.
Which really put you on the back foot, particularly with your handball game, which has been a feature, but that was your strength a number of weeks ago, but now it seems to have become a bit of a weakness.
Yeah, that's fair. I know we're handballing backwards under pressure, which is, my problem becomes yours. I'll give it to you.
See, and that's exactly what the Pies were doing. It was like hot potato. No one wanted it. No one wanted that responsibility, and you could really, really see that. Whereas the quick handballs out, and Dan Houston was doing it, Josh Dacos was doing it. A lot of the defenders were doing it as well. Only a couple of Magpies can hold their head up high who tried to take the game on. But for the most part, no one wanted that responsibility. It was all shirked.
But we can pick holes in all of our game, really, if you want to. You can go through lots of things, but it's about finding the things that we can turn around quickly. Like I said this before the game, if we didn't review anything, this is the question I ask the coaches straight away most weeks. If we don't review anything, what's permanent? What's going to be there next week? Now, that's the things we have to get to work on.
And also that contested ball element, which has been a feature of Hawthorn.
Just quickly, 164 pressure rating. Their 4th worst return under Craig McRae. We were the pressure Pies for so long to start this season. And now it's just like someone's opened the valve up and there's no pressure whatsoever. And it's really wild to think that we're vying for a top 2, top 4 spot and there's no pressure. We should be hammering that pressure onto them. That's shithouse. That's absolutely shocking.
Really controlled that game right from the outset.
Well, mostly on the outside of clearance. We lost post clearance, so post contested ball by 20 odd, I think. So, yep, sorry.
Collingwood only had 42 tackles for the game.
Yeah.
Again, we
See, again, 42
Yeah.
tackles for the game.
No, well,
Shit
that
house.
comes to the effort thing. You know, like you're 114,000 members. You expect a certain amount of effort.
Shout out to 114,000 members. And we expect the effort. Your fly's right. 42 tackles or whatever that was. Come on, man. Like, that goes back down to the pressure thing. That goes back down to players not wanting to play for him. You think about a few weeks ago against Fremantle, Bo had 15 tackles by himself. That's almost, that is a third of what we tackled the whole time against Hawthorn. And we were down by 60 points and we're not tackling, we're not pressuring. Come on, man. Effort just was non-existent.
We didn't have it. So you get disappointed with that. And our tackle pressures, but that's because we get bodies in the wrong position and then we don't move the ball inside 50 well and don't connect. And then there's more than just one layer to pressure. But that's certainly something we'll dial into. And that's something that we put that jumper on as an expectation that we represent it better than what we did tonight.
So I think it was last year our whole shtick was honour the jumper, honour the jumper. I haven't seen what our motto is this year. I don't even think we've come out with one. The other one was make it legendary, honour the jumper. We didn't do that. For the last 2 weeks, we have not honoured the jumper. And that's something, again, like I said earlier, that side-by-side spirit, that's something that was just non-existent and something that we don't do. We're always honouring the jumper. We're always fighting until the end, and we just didn't do it. And that's what hurts the most.
Obviously, you leaked a lot of marks inside 50 tonight. I think it was 18, and you're obviously up against probably the most ominous forward line next week. Without, obviously, Jeremy, are you confident the back line can turn things around to it?
Yeah, well, the game for me was really high transition.
Yep.
It's a danger game against the Hawks. You want to play that for 120 odd minutes, and we didn't connect. One thing I'll say is when we get behind, we want to chase. 6 goals is not enough for me for our fans to watch at home. I don't know how many kept watching right through the end. We'd like to fight to the end so they never turn it off.
Yeah.
I think that's historic. Tonight they might have turned it off a bit early, which disappoints us.
And I'll tell you what, people did turn it off early. People were messaging me saying they stopped watching at half-time, stopped watching at three-quarter time, and I kind of don't blame them. It was just very, very, very un-Collingwood-like, that game. And Craig McRae is right, like 6 goals in a finals-like game. Come on, man. We were missing goals. Look, I don't mind the missing goals and the effort trying to score goals. I understand that. But when you're not hitting targets, when the connection's not there, when, you built your season on transition footy and, being a well-versed side in the forward line, being a high defending side, and then you dish out what we dished out like a bottom 4 side, of course people are going to turn off. Of course 114,000 members are going to turn off. Of course they're going to be angry.
But that's a high transition game. Yeah, we had a short turnaround. Those things will challenge you. Yep.
You really embrace that Adelaide challenge as
We have to, don't we?
Yeah.
Judge us on the full term and judge us on our response. And that's
That's the biggest thing, right? That's one of the themes that he uses throughout this press conference. Judge us at the end of it all. Judge us after we've finished all the minutes. There's still a lot of minutes to play. Judge us on the next game. Nothing is permanent. Judge us on the next game. There has to be the biggest response we've seen in Collingwood history against the Crows next week.
that'll create a headline. But bring it on. We got to turn up. Not just because we're going to Adelaide and who we play. It's just because that's what we want to do. We want to be a team that turns up every week. Nothing's permanent.
There it is again. Nothing's
I've
permanent.
never believed in form and I never believed in confidence because my next action will be the one that decides if I'm confident or form-wise.
Yep.
So, we coach that hard. But we've got to glue our system back together.
Again, there's that glue piece. There's the Icarus. There's the flying too close to the sun.
We've got a full week to do that. And 19 20, 100 game players, they know how to play their role. So we've got to glue them back together quickly.
You can see just his mind just absolutely ticking. And when he said there's 19 or 20 players that are playing over 100 games, they know what to do. We need to glue them back together. Oh, but he is frustrated. To be a fly, no pun intended, on the wall to see what he said to these players after the game, I would have paid any amount of money to see that. But there's that glue again, that glue. In 2023, we had Fly's special spray or Fly's magic juice or whatever they were calling it, and that was fun, you know. We need Fly's magical glue. Oh God, that sounds weird.
Can you explain some of the way players are playing if you don't really have confidence or form from an external point of view you think it must be
Can we get microphones for these journos as well? Bloody hell.
Yeah. See, confidence is an outcome. Form's an outcome. We live in process. You judge us on outcomes. We judge ourselves on process. So you come to a stoppage and you're out of the position. We go, hey, come on. What are you doing in that position? So you start to think more than do. And then we have systems in place where you go, hey, you're out of position. Hey, come over here, mate. I need you there. So then when you go quiet, you go internal.
And that's one thing that we didn't see a lot of over the last 2 weeks. Just players managing themselves and managing other players. At the start of the season, probably for most of the season, we've been really good at that, at saying, you go here, you go here. No, we need you here. There's no talk out there. There's absolutely no talk out there. And then you go to training and there's lots of talk and it's jovial. It's good, but it just doesn't translate onto the field at the moment.
So we do process. So we come back to minute and seconds. So we lost a few minutes and seconds tonight, but we've got to stay present to that. When you start to think outcome and expectation, then you're not doing.
Yep.
You're thinking. We want them to play. So we're confident we can turn those things around.
That gives me confidence. When he says, we know what it is, we pretty much know what the problem is, we're confident we can turn it around. This has to be the firecracker, right? This has to be the fire starter for the end of the season. I don't want to lose one more game. This is it. This is the last game I want to lose for the rest of the season.
do you think they're drifting into outcome?
No doubt. You can see it.
Yeah.
And I call it out when I see it.
So I don't know if you heard, but that reporter said, do you think that the players are drifting into outcome? And that's what, and he's saying, yeah, that they are. So that's what it looks like they're doing. They're thinking about the end result and not thinking about, okay, how can I prevent that? I need to get here. I need to get here. And like, I think Fry's said this for the last 4 years. We're a system-based football side, and that's not what we saw against Hawthorn.
No doubt. So we've got to live in process, and we're going to get better every day, and we turn up on Monday this week with a big smile on the face. And let's
There you
get
go. There's that Monday
as
thing.
we have done for a number of years now.
Yep.
How much does that, the system you're talking about, not being, how much does that relate to, all those many unforced errors that are made by such senior players? Are they linked in a way?
Oh, I start to ask the same question. Like you see some incredibly experienced guys making unforeseen skill errors. But then again, I think they're overthinking potentially at times. So we've got to get out of their way and allow them to flow. And
It's a very delicate balance, isn't it, between system-based football, outcome-based football, then like overthinking the system and the outcome. It looks like the guys are just in their heads too much. And when you're in your head too much, and I get like this as well, I don't vocalize how I'm feeling. I don't vocalize what I'm doing. And then it makes me spiral. And it just looks like that there's something going on in their minds or in their heads or behind the four walls that we're not seeing, that we're not privy to, and we shouldn't be privy to that anyway. That's just really halting the guys from playing that natural football that got us to the position that we were in.
decisions can be made. Like if I've got a ball in hand and the ground doesn't look like who am I going to kick it to, then you second guess yourself too. But then not give enough credit to Hawthorn either. Their pressure and the way they play the game. This is a tough game to play.
Hawthorn were fantastic. Like, I know I'm saying all this stuff and, blah, 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 but Hawthorn were fantastic. They made us second guess ourselves. Their pressure was elite as well.
Yeah, we got to back our system in. It served us well. And under pressure, under adversity, go back to what you know and go do your job. And it's up to me to glue them together and our coaches to glue them together and take responsibility for what we did tonight.
So that's one thing that keeps me in good stead, is that we haven't been maybe not in this exact position before, but I know what it looks like when Collingwood are backs against the wall and they're fighting for their lives. And I think we can turn it around really easily. And Fly just said, go back to what we know. And it's just the KISS method, right? It's the keep it simple, stupid method that we just have to go back to. No more pretty things and no more, all of this or anything like that. You go simple, you play simple football, play the football that got us 10 points clear on top of the ladder, because that's just absolutely not there.
You said when you went fly, you're getting turned and you're getting to your head. So what can you do to sort of change that mindset within the week? I mean,
So easy. Like if you quiet, talk. That's
There you
like
go.
15 years of doing development. Players that tell me when they're out of form and out of confidence, I go, well, what do you do when when you have confidence and have form? Just do that. Well, I'm quiet when I've got no confidence. Well, be loud. I don't go for my marks. Well, go for your marks. You know?
Oh, that little just go for your marks. That I don't know, that gives me a bit of chills because we don't see Fly like this. We don't. And I'm loving that we're seeing Fly this animated and this angry and this upset and apologizing to us. Not that they owe us anything, but they're apologizing to us because they know that what they dished up was shit. He just said the coaches and I have to take the responsibility. We have to glue them back. They're going to go to the drawing board all weekend. We've got 9 days to turn it around against Adelaide. And if this press conference is showing me anything, it's that we can do that.
I tackle when I've got confidence. Tackle! It's in their actions, not thoughts. It's right in front of us. Right in front of us.
Do you remain supremely confident what this season can achieve for
Yep.
this team?
Yeah, I do, because we've got trust. And but again, we'll be judged on the full length of that.
Judged on the full length of the season. He has trust. If he has trust in the team, I've got trust in the team.
We won't live in outcome. We're going to live in process, minute by minute, and there's still lots of minutes left as far as I'm aware, and we'll make the most of those.
There's still lots of minutes as far as I'm aware, and we'll make the most of those. I thought that was one of the best press conferences Flyers ever given. Probably second to the grand final press conference right after we won the flag. But he's absolutely right. Everything that he said, like I just said, so animated, and it's just great to see that passion coming from him. So now we'll look at the Darcy Cameron video.
With still side on this milestone, how disappointing was it to dish up that on such a big occasion?
Oh, so disappointing. He's been a trooper for 350
You can just see the absolute hurt in his eyes and in his face, and it just validates how we're feeling as supporters.
games, and to put up a performance like that, I feel sorry for him as a team and myself, but we got some work to do.
Fly took you straight
Mate, we definitely have some work to do.
in for a team meeting there. What was the key message?
Oh, just a really disappointing performance. Our system wasn't there.
So there you go, system. So when Fly goes into other press conferences this week, you'll be hearing about system. I'm sure the media, the journalists are going to be asking him, how is the system holding up? They've got, I think it's 4 or 5 training sessions before the Adelaide game. You just know that when they go into the club today to do their review of the game, that's the big key word. It's going to be system. Where did our system go?
Night and our fight was in patches, but for the majority of the night was.
I would argue that our fight was barely in patches. We fought at the start, and then that was it. Then we just rolled over, and Hawthorn were just scratching our bellies like a puppy.
Wasn't there, so there's a lot to go through throughout the week.
Lost 4 of the last 5 now. You looked quite tired and exhausted out there. Is that how it felt on the field?
Good, very good by Mitch Cleary to ask this question.
I don't think so. I don't want to blame it on how tired we are or anything. I think, we hold ourselves to a high standard. We haven't hit that the last, month of football. So,
look, I know that I want to make excuses and say, we're tired and stuff like that. But, Mitch Cleary asked, it looked like you were tired and exhausted. Everyone could see it. Everyone could see it. Just say, we're exhausted. Like, you're not going to get, slapped on the back of the hand for that. Like, it looked like we were exhausted. Everyone's seeing it. Ray Charles can see it. Just come out and say that you're exhausted.
we'll work on that.
But they're holding to a high standard. I understand that. I understand why they don't want to make excuses. That's just not the high standard. That's a nicer way to say it, I guess.
Jeremy Howe goes down in the first minute. Did that take the wind out of the sails for a few boys and take a little bit to compose the group?
No, if not, it should have galvanised us. He did a great effort.
Hear that? I think he was going to say, if not, it didn't, but it galvanised us. He said it should have galvanised us. Every Collingwood supporter that you talk to would have said the exact same thing. Howie going down should have galvanised us. It should have given us something to fight for. And if you can't fight for one of your legends of the club, what else can you fight for? You know what I mean? So that's really telling. Should have galvanized us.
Come forward, impact the ball, and put his body on the line. No, we're not going to make excuses and say that hurt us. We need to be better than that.
That exactly the same messaging from Fly.
4 games to go now. What will the key focus be going into those matches?
Pretty good opportunity to go to Adelaide Oval and put on our best and get back to work, really. So we'll just look at that game and go from there.
Wade Meek tonight went forward, tried to take.
Go do some work, right? That's it, and that's all you can do. Nothing is permanent. You go in and you make some more. You make some more work, and we've got a lot of work to do. Let me tell you.
You to the goal square. How did you see that play out?
Yeah, well, he kicked 3 goals, so we played that well for him. Yeah. But he's a great competitor. He played well tonight, and
Bit of a smart assy sort of answer there, but fair enough. Meek just monstered him. Meek just absolutely monstered him, and this is the guy that wants whatever it is, $1 million a season or something. I don't know. The contract thing to West Coast, I reckon, is playing on his mind a lot, especially over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
that's it. Yeah, cheers, mate.
All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to watch the Darcy Moore interview with ABC. So you have to excuse me. The only video I could get of this was from screen recording ABC's Instagram. So we'll jump into this now.
And we've got a really experienced group, and we're just really disappointed in that performance. One of our club icons, still a massive milestone, and we just didn't put in the performance we wanted for him. So we're super disappointed. We're feeling it, and we got work to do.
We've got work to do. We're super disappointed. All these sort of key points that Fly and Darcy Cameron were saying. I know what you're probably thinking. Oh, Luke, what else can they say? What else can they say? But it's kind of, again, it's just validating to hear this as well. I would like, well, let's watch the rest of it and see what else he says.
Big picture, are you worried? No, we're not worried. We have great faith in ourselves and our system.
We're not worried. We have faith in ourselves. Now, I saw people comment, "Oh, he should be worried. He should be this. They should be what? They should be." Imagine if Darcy Moore came out and said, "Yeah, we're worried now. Oh, we might miss the top 8 if we lose our next 2. Oh, we might not get a home final. Oh, we might not make the top 4. Yeah, we're worried." Imagine the world would be on fire if he said that we were worried. So I don't mind that. But when he said,
We know what we're capable of as a group.
That's the big thing, right? We know what we're capable of. We won a flag 2 years ago. We're pretty much virtually the same sort of team that we were when we did win that flag, adding a couple of extra players into there as well. We know what we can do, and we know that we can bounce back. It's just a matter of, like Fly said, can we have the glue to stick us together to help us bounce back?
And just how even our team is when we play a system brand of football, it just feels
there's that system piece.
Like at the moment we're not doing that very well. Our system's breaking down both in front and behind the ball at times, and that puts.
How do we get the system back? That's the $1 million trillion question that everyone at the footy club will be pulling their hair out. How do we get our system back? It was holding up. What is it? Is it extra motivation? Do they need a kumbaya session? Do they need to let it all out? What is going on, and how do we get this system back?
A little bit more pressure on us at either end, and then, we don't think our way through those big moments as well. So, we're certainly not worried, but we know we've got work to do, and like
we're certainly not worried, but we're kind of worried, is what he wanted to say there.
Like I said, we're disappointed in that performance. Yeah, man, it's a really tough one. It's a really tough situation. I know personally, I can speak personally, like my reaction, I just have this sort of sick feeling in my stomach straight away when you see something. That ate me up, man. Just seeing that, and I honestly thought the worst straight away. Something like that, and you see a teammate like Howie, he's so much loved. Obviously, I work so closely with him and I know him so well. We've worked together for 9 years, and you see him in a state like that, it just makes me feel sick to my stomach, and it's pretty hard to shake off, to be honest. It definitely has an impact on the team when you're a connected team and you look out for each other, but you've just got to try and focus on the job at hand. And there you have it, right? So it did affect them. They were rattled.
not rattled enough for it to galvanise them. We thought it was going to go one way and rattle them to galvanise them and go on and play for Steele and play for Howie. It went the other way. It rattled them and they just lost their system, their shape, their desire, and their want. Look, this has been the final siren. Let me know if you like this format, things that I can do to change it or improve it, all your thoughts down below. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, Tay family, Tay friends, Tay pets, and until next time, double shackers, I'll swoop you later.